Taking on a role that's known by pretty much the entire world has got to be pretty daunting. What was your intentions with putting your stamp on Lucifer?
I think, well, first of all, that's a sort of a... I didn't really think about that before. I got the script and I thought, God, this is, one, very funny, and two, something I really would love to do. Because it was very different to a lot of things out there. And then it's sort of become a realisation of mine since, that everyone feels like they know this character, a little bit like Father Christmas or someone like that, and so it is funny, people's intrigue about it, about you're playing the devil, and everyone's got their fixed kind of like thing. My interpretation of it was I wanted to use what we had in the original script because it was so brilliantly written. The character for me was so brilliantly realised by Tom Capanos, who originally wrote the pilot. And there was sort of some Hank Moody tones in there, and Tom writes brilliantly for those type of characters. And to me, it just felt like a blueprint for this great character, taken from what I assumed the devil to be. And I just wanted to. One thing I didn't want to do was make him arch, because I think what really leapt out to me when I first read it was fun. It was a fun take on using this character and putting him in a different world. And then, therefore, the things and the problems and the puzzlements that they encounter. And it was for me. It was we were starting at a point where it was a character that everyone knows, but in a completely different world, on the beginning of a redemption story.
Yeah.
And this was like the ultimate redemption story, the most irredeemable character. How can he find redemption? And so that was my take on it. I just wanted it to be a sort of a fun take on it. And he likes to have fun with people. And that was a huge selling point for me, and a huge kind of thing that I tapped into, really. I didn't want to be Mr. Evil.
Well, the notion that even Trixie likes Lucifer, does that reveal a lot about his character?
Yeah, I think so. I think it does. I mean, there's this kind of this fun dynamic that we play with. That Lucifer is repelled by children. He can't get his head around children, which I like because it has tones of not that we're trying some big theological discussion, but the whole thing about Jesus wanting people to be childlike and all that. I think it's like the ultimate innocence, and that's what he can't get his head around. So when someone sort of gets him of that age group, it's puzzling, but it plays out very funnily.
Presumably, after this many years of existence, Lucifer has done a lot of things in his time. What kind of joy is he finding in this new experience of crime solving that you're getting to play, and what you've shot so far?
Well, I mean, again, another thing that I kind of find interesting and different about this is it's not, it may well be billed by people who haven't seen it as a procedural cop drama with Lucifer teaming up with a detective, but it doesn't play out like that, and it doesn't play out like that because he only gets involved in cases that he has some kind of selfish interest in. And it's about his experience of learning about humanity and learning about people and interaction and emotions and all those things that he's finding new and sometimes exciting and sometimes daunting. He uses his relationship with the detective in order to find that through the cases. So it's quite amusing because he doesn't really care about solving any of these crimes. It's just about getting to a realisation for him about something.
How much of the comic book mythology are you guys incorporating and making into a bigger serialized mystery?
There is an overall serialized element to the show, which is again something that I love, because it's constantly moving. It's never, there's no kind of like fixed arrangement within the show as to like this. Let's just go and solve another case every week. So we're taking, I sort of hesitate when people talk about the graphic novel because, and I've said this before, like I didn't know it was based on a graphic novel when I first read the script, and when I first got the job I didn't know it was based on a graphic novel, and then when it was announced on Deadline I was reading the article and I was like, oh, it's based on a graphic novel, I didn't know that. And I'm kind of glad I didn't know, because it didn't change my choices about stuff and didn't alter my choices about stuff. And I think that's important, because we're taking something from a very different medium and trying to use it to make something else. So we're taking, yes, elements of relationships and things like that, but it's very much its own being, this TV show, compared to the graphic novel. And I'm sure that there will be some people very unhappy about that, but I'm sure if people watch it for what it is, then they'll soon forget.
Can you talk a little bit about the pull from hell and the forces that want him to return from Earth to wherever?
Well, the overwhelming force is his brother Amenadiel, who it's his mission to get me back to hell. We don't know why that is so much, but it materializes over the series. There are varying reasons, some of them selfish on his part. Basically the overall order of stuff and divinity is slightly askew and not working. So he wants me to go back and fulfill my role, otherwise something awful might happen. Alongside him, Maze, my trusted companion, she came with me to Earth under the premise that I'd probably only be here for a short while. And I've sort of deferred because I'm quite enjoying the experience. So that also plays out through the first season as well.
Is it something where you can take like a weekend trip and go back, or?
Oh no, it's much more complex than that.
Do you go into that like?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we talk. We which is what I mean about it being serialized, and there's larger things at play than the crimes we investigate not every week, but the times that we investigate crimes, it doesn't play into the greater picture of the series.
Jumping off of what you said, he's having a fun time on Earth. We saw that he really loves to drink.
He does love to drink.
What are you actually drinking on set when you're drinking those whiskeys?
Whiskey.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I know that's not the case. I'm curious.
I'm in Canada in a workplace. Of course, it's not alcohol.
Is it apple juice? Is it?
It's kind of like it's water with food colouring in it.
Oh really?
Yeah. I have to do a lot of 10-1s when we do drinking scenes. Do you know what that is? 10-1's code for going to the toilet. That's what the AD department say to each other if you have to leave set to use the bathroom. Just Tom's on a 10-1. We won't go into 10-2s.
So Lauren mentioned that Chloe sees something interesting when she first goes to Lucifer's apartment. Can you tease us anything about that?
I believe it was something big.
No, it was huge.
Oh God!
Huge.
Wow. Like Jaws, it's better the suggestion of the shark than actually seeing it. So I'll just leave you with that.
Can you talk about Lucifer's relationship with the therapist and
Dr. Linda, it comes around quite organically in the pilot. That she's someone that we end up questioning on an investigation, and something resonates with Lucifer in that instance, and it intrigues him enough for him to go back. And then, as the series unfolds, he checks into therapy with her. So it's a fun relationship because you have got someone assessing this person and trying to work out, are they deluded or are they actually the devil or whatever, but there's something that connects both of them. She is the feral instinct in her is aroused, like most women with Lucifer, so that's the deal that we do at the end of the pilot.
Does it shift to purely professional relationship, or is it a professional with benefits type?
It's professional with benefits to start with, but nothing's that simple.
How authentic is he actually in his therapy sessions? Like, is he genuinely telling her how he feels, or is he kind of playing her for his own agenda as well?
I think the interesting thing about having a therapist in this situation is that Lucifer thinks he knows everything. And is not introspective at all at the start. And then you just have to watch it play out.
We talked to Kevin about Dan and how he sort of sees like this guy moving in and hanging out with his wife and getting close to his daughter. But how does Lucifer regard him?
Regard Dan.
Yes.
Well, his nickname for Dan is Detective Douche.
Does it come back? Because it's not in the new pilot.
It comes back. We can't lose
love
that.
that.
We can't lose that. It comes back very strongly. Yeah, it's a fun relationship because I think again Lucifer kind of has these preconceived ideas about who this person might be, and then along the way, inadvertently learns a thing or two about emotions through this character. And Dan's presence also throws up a lot of stuff for Lucifer that he's never had to deal with before.
I've seen the pilot that Chloe is immune to Lucifer's charms. Does he find that like a challenge? Like I must make her like me or something?
Pretty much. yeah, pretty much. I mean, there is, I suppose the next episode after the pilot, it becomes about Lucifer is desperate. He's trying to work out what it is, about this woman and why. And if he doesn't affect her, then what does affect her? And basically, the reason that Chloe and Lucifer end up spending so much time together is she becomes his case. She becomes what he's trying to find out about stuff. So if she's investigating a crime, he'll happen to be there, but it's her that he's investigating and not. But he's quite open about that as well.
Could
He's an
Lucifer?
open book. Sorry,
Could Lucifer use his ability to just get Dan to go away?
it's not that simple.
Okay.
Not that simple. Because as he learns in life on Earth, there are consequences.
How much flashbacks are we going to be seeing in the show? We're going to be seeing a lot about what his life has been like since he left Hell, or what he was like in Hell before we meet him in the pilot?
No, there's no actual flashback. Not as far as I know. Thus far, there's been no flashback. I don't think it's something that we're going to explore in the first season. That's for sure.